So I'm going to take you over to the actual access to work page, and I'm going to highlight a couple of things before I actually get into the application, just based on questions I've been asked, and things that have been said that I know people need support on. So this is the government website, so it's not fake. It is the actual government website. And I say that because I have had someone tell me that I'm lying about what I'm sharing. No, I'm not. I have got this grant, this funding myself, and it pays for my current coach and VA. I say current coach because I've already signed up for a coach for next year, but I'm not using my access to work for that because I'm hiring a copywriter next. So it just shows that it can help you grow with your business. And I would think about what is actually going to help you grow, because sometimes we can get access to money or we can buy things that are not necessarily always going to help us grow. So think about what is going to help. So there is loads of information on the government website about all of it, as you can see here, what it is, eligibility, application. After you apply, I've not actually looked in this section, but it is worth reading these. And then renewal as well. So like when mine's up in 2.5 years' time, I'll be able to renew. So I should say I want to highlight some things. So the information for everything that I've already shared with everyone is literally here. But there's things I want to highlight because people, just start here. People believe that they're not entitled to it, but I think a huge a huge proportion of us we are. So basically, what is it? It's a fund provided by the government to help those who are in work or going to go back into work to get funding for support that they need, which is why it's called Access to Work. I first heard of it about 2 years ago when I invested in my first mastermind. One of the ladies on there had ADHD. She'd applied and she'd got some funds, and it was amazing for her. I applied at the time, didn't get it. I applied beginning of this year, again, didn't get it. And I realised why. It's because the first time I did it, didn't qualify. But since then I have qualified, and last time I did it, I made it about my family, and it needs to be about you. So this is something I want to highlight because people fill it in like I did, and they talk about their husbands, their sons, daughters, whatever disabilities, but it's not. It's about you. So basically, it can get you practical support and mental health support, communication support, but it will not pay for so reasonable adjustments. Let's just have a look at what that is. Or is that what it does pay for? So basically what it does, it does give you, it can give you equipment, it can give you, so you can get a support worker. So like, for example, I am a neurodiverse business mentor now as of this week, or last week even. And basically you can spend your access to work funds with me if you need support. So I am a support worker. So it means that I can do the business coaching and mentoring, but I'm also going to be a qualified life coach. I'm in doing the certification now. So I can help with mindset as well. So the reason I'm doing that is because it's all of it. We usually need all of it. So you can get support like that. You can hire VAs, you can get body doubling where someone sits with you while you work to ensure you stay on task. Loads of different things that you can get. So that's where it comes into eligibility. So it kind of talks about this, and you must have physical or mental health condition or disability that means you need support to do your job or to get to and from work. This is not just self-employed, it's employed people as well. Be 16 or over and be in paid work or returning to work, and be in England, Scotland or Wales. So let's look at, I just want to highlight the disability, illness or health conditions. So physical disabilities, learning disabilities, developmental condition like ASD, learning difficulties like ADHD or dyslexia, an illness such as diabetes or epilepsy, a temporary condition like a broken leg, or a mental health condition. We are actually considering seeing if Access to Work can help my husband get into work, because he literally fits every single bullet point on that list. So, and he misses working so much. So if we can look at a way to, get him in work and get some support with that, that will be amazing. And your work must be employed, self-employed. You can be in an apprenticeship, work trial or experience, internship or work placement, but you can't get it for voluntary work. So hopefully by now you can see where you fit. And just for a bit of transparency, when I applied for mine, all I put on my application was it asks you, I'll show you anyway. I'll talk you through it as I do it, but it asks you what your not diagnosis, but what your ailment is, and I'll talk you through that and what I put. Income and benefits is really important because this is one of the most popular questions. People don't sign up through fear of that they've got savings or they earn too much or don't earn enough, so they don't sign up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you earn or how much you have in savings. It doesn't matter if you're on benefits, as long as you earn more than you work more than 1 hour a week. Now, what I will disclose though is that when you apply and you get your funding, if you haven't earned, there's a limit, and basically that limit is £6,500 in turnover. So not profit, that's money coming into the business. If you've earned that, you could just go straight through the process. If you haven't, you can do a business plan and a financial forecast and send those off, and then you'll get the funding. The reason they ask for that is, I believe, is because it's government backed, and they need some evidence that you're going to use this money wisely and you are going to use it to grow the business. Because realistically, if we all do that, we all end up paying tax, national insurance goes back to the government, and it goes back into the economy, which is a beautiful thing, really, isn't it? As annoying as tax and national insurance is, it does help everybody out in the long run. So I'm going to stick with that positive thing about paying tax. So yeah, that's what that's all about. Even though I didn't have to do that, I've still done it for myself, because it's a really good thing to hold you accountable, to set a plan in place. Like for me, it was important that I got over £32,000. I needed to make sure that I was using this money to grow my business. So I've already got a plan of what I'm investing in for the next year, actually. So thinking of things that you could invest it in. For me, I'm with a one-to-one coach now, one-to-one coach and mentor. We end in December. We're actually over halfway through. It's been amazing. We end in December, and then I'm self-funding my next coach because I'm using my Access to Work funding to invest in a friend of mine, and who is also a co-coach who works for me in my mastermind. I'm using it to fund her doing it. She's a copywriter, copywriting everything for my business. So we're going to overhaul everything, and then she'll be my copywriter after that. So we do it together at first, and then once she really writes like me, she'll take over. She won't do me content though. I love doing content. So things like sales pages, opt-ins, emails, anything around selling. Basically, she helps you grow with words. So I'm investing in that. And then following that, I'm investing in an ads manager to start running Facebook ads. So basically, the idea for me is I'm taking things to the next level organically, and then I'm going to pay to play, basically. So it just shows how much it can evolve and grow your business if you think about it smart and invest wisely. So I've missed something out. Oh yeah, I've got my VA as well. She's just getting odd jobs at the minute, and I'm kind of getting used to, because I've been paying her but not giving her many jobs. That's because I'm not used to having someone to help, basically. So eligibility, as I've just talked through. Now let's get into the actual application, because this is the bit that everybody avoids doing, because they believe that you need to prove to yourself, you will need your UTR. So if you're not registered as self-employed, you will need to be to actually apply. And if you're not and you want to apply, just register online. No one's going to come hunting you down. Just go onto the government website, register as self-employed. They send you this number in the post on a letter. Save that letter. So you'll need that number in future. And then when you're making money, you can submit your tax return and you can apply for this funding. So I'm going to take you through the application. Obviously, if you have any questions as I talk, if you're live with me now, share it in the comment box. If you're watching on replay, comment on the video, and I'll happily come and answer any questions you have. So civil servant. I'm assuming most of us are not. So here is the first question. What are your conditions or disabilities? So remember that list that it said on eligibility, take note of what your eligibility is. And for full transparency, I'll tell you what I put for mine. So I put mental health, hate typing. I think because people are watching as well, it makes it even worse. See what I mean? I just can't type. Anxiety and depression and possible ADHD, right? That's what I put. Nobody asked for any proof of this. Nobody asked anything. They just talked to me about how it affects my work, okay? So I submitted that, continued. Do I want help to get to work? I obviously don't. You might. So you might want to click yes and then fill in the details. But I'm assuming most of us that are, watching my video work from home and we want it for self-employed reasons. Does your condition make it harder for you to do your job? Now, I'm going to tell you, if you click no, you're not going to get the funding. So we want to be clicking yeah, because if the conditions that you have make it harder, this is why you're allowed to get the support. So there's some key things here. This is the most important thing on the application, and it's not a long application. You can do it in 10 minutes. So we need to get this right. So when you fill this in, does your condition make it harder for you to do your job? Yes. Describe how it makes it harder. So when I filled this in, I wrote about how my lack of focus, because of the belief of it that I have ADHD, meant that I never got any consistency with the business, which is true, and now I'm admitting it publicly, which is scary, but it's true. Until this year, I had no consistency, even in my old business, which was successful. I did have consistency, but yeah, it has, it sold itself, did that one, to be fair. And I had a strategy, implemented it, and it worked. And then I sold through word of mouth, but not everybody has that word of mouth. So I needed to bring that consistency into play and focus. So it made me harder. And then my mental health impacted it because of, obviously, bouts of anxiety and depression. So I talked about that and how it affected my job. So you write all the information. The more you put in here about how it makes it harder for you, is going to help with your application. Next question. Do you do anything to get around these problems at the moment? I'm just going to quickly do this because I want to be able to move on. So obviously, if you do, click yes and be honest. But the thing is, if you do loads to support this, they're probably not going to give you a grant. All I put in mine is that I take medication, because I do take medication. And so, yeah, they know that. And then the next important question, do you know what you need to help you with this? Now, if you don't know the answer to this question, I would advise having a really good think about it, because if you know and you can give the information, then you can tell them. So this is why this section is so important, because this has all the information that is going to basically make them say yes or no to you getting this funding. So do you need what you need help with? Do you know even? This is the bit where you want to tell them basically. So for me, it was, I wanted a support worker and guidance for focus and for managing money better, because I needed that at the time. Because again, I'm always honest in what I do, and I think there's a place for honesty in the world of coaching, what I do. So I have made a lot of money from both my businesses. Have I been in profit all of that time? No, because I'm a bad money management, because it's all down to mindset. But I'm proud to say I've worked on that now. I'm getting out of debt, paid off 2 in the last few months, and I'll be completely financially free in the next 6 months, no debts. And basically 3 months ago, I had 5 grand in debt. Don't anymore, but I did. So the money was coming in, but I wasn't managing it well. So I needed help with this as well, and got that help now. And I feel this comes up for a lot of people, especially when you have things like mental health and ADHD, neurodiversity, disability, or, learning difficulties like my husband with dyslexia. It's a challenge to manage things that can be otherwise easy for people. We don't have awareness of it. So really share what you could have help with. So for me, it was support to stay focused, outsourcing a bit of work, and the money management side of things so that I can actually run a profitable business, which thankfully it's turned around. So it's about putting that information in there for what you need help with. I'm just going to do this and then move on. So continue. And then it's just a few details about you. So obviously, depending on what you are, for me, self-employed, your job title. So what I put, what I am, business consultant. Oh, that's terrible typing, terrible. Is your work different to your home address? Mine isn't, but yours might be. And again, how long have you been in that role? And then the date and time, you know, when you started. If you don't know, just do an estimate. I know because I did a massive launch for my coaching and mentoring business. How many days a week do you usually work? If you don't know this, again, just estimate it. How many hours? 35 days. Oh, that's wrong. I read it wrong. How many hours a week do you usually work? That's the 35 one. Okay, so you can see how easily, like I just did, it is to fill it in wrong and not read and absorb the information. So just take your time with it. And then it's all your details, okay? And then I'm going to take you through, I'm just going to quickly fill it in so that I can show you the rest because we're nearly there now. I mean, feel free to send me flowers in the post because I'm sharing my address. Which I don't mind doing publicly because as a business, you have to do anyway. Do you get any types of support? So if you do get access to any benefits like this, you can tick them in because I know some people might get ESA or I don't know what this is, limited capability related. I don't know anything about universal credit, but some people might get that. I don't get any of those. And again, remember it's about you, no one else. Have you had any of these types of education support? So for me, it's a no, but for you guys, you might have. What do you want? Who do you want to be contacted? So if you do struggle with like phone calls, things like that, you can actually have someone else speak for you, like as a representative. This is what's good about DWP is that they do this. Like my husband gets paid and I represent him. I sign all his forms for him and everything like that because he just wouldn't do it, to be fair. It just never get done because it's overwhelming. And I'm sure some people with ADHD can probably relate to that. Forms are a nightmare, but if it is yourself, obviously you can choose yourself. And then how you want to be contacted. So really important. If you click email and you put your email in, please read your emails because I did this. I'm just going to put my personal email in, but you might want to put your business one in. You want to put the one in where you actually check your emails because they will contact you through the method that you tipped. Okay, so it's worth putting that in and then actually keeping an eye on your emails because bear in mind it can take around 14 weeks before they get back to you. I recorded. Oh, no, I'm just saying it's being recorded. I applied in March and I got my grant in June, so it does take about 3 months. If you click phone call, brilliant. They'll just, they'll phone you straight away. They usually do let you know in advance. They emailed me and said, can we have a phone call at this time? About 15 minutes. And I was like, yeah, sent them over my number and then they rang at that time. So you do like a phone interview and they talk about pretty much what's on your application, what kind of needs and support you have, and then they give you a quote for the grant that they're going to offer you. So once you click continue, you can review all your answers, continue, and then send your application. That is how quick and easy it actually is to send your application. Now, I don't want to send that because obviously I already get access to work. But it is really easy. It's just really important that that midsection with most boxes that you get spot on basically to ensure that you get the claim that you're entitled to, that you get the funds. Has anyone got any questions?
Well, I have a question.
Go on.
If you're not registered self-employed and you need to do the financial forecast and business plan, Is that
Yeah.
something they ask for on that phone call?
Yes, she asked me on the phone call. She said, so basically they have a phone call and they tell you how it's going to work. She says she'll send all the information through email, because you've got to get like your grant that you get, the money basically. They give a confirmation, a letter in the post. So they tell you that they'll send that out, but before they send it out, they give you a few things that you need to do. So this is where you'll give them your UTR number, and then that's where they'll request your business plan and financial forecast. So for me, because I already hit that 6,500, I'm registered self-employed, they asked for my tax return. So she asked, first of all, she said, have you done it? I'm like, yeah, I'm organised, so I've done it. I do it straight away in April. So I'd done it, and so I sent that off. I took my tax return, sent it off, and then they could see everything on there about me and my businesses, because I had two at the time. But I was using it for this business. So I needed to earn the money in this business, not them combined in this business. Because at first I was like, have I? Because it's so new still. Well, it's not 2.5 years in. But at first I was like, have I? But I'd gone over that threshold in the year. So yeah, they ask on the call and then they'll send you an email. But you've got something like 13 weeks to send it back to them. So
Okay.
So realistically, but I'd never recommend dragging it out, because obviously you apply, like we just talked about there, then it's taking 14 weeks to hear back. And then if you take your time, the longer you take, the longer it takes to get the money. So I really wouldn't procrastinate on it. I'd fill in the business plan, I'd fill in a financial forecast. Oh, by the way, if anyone needs one, I have templates for free. But if you want support with actually filling those in, I've got a pack that's just £5. So if anyone wants the link, let me know and I'll send it over. So it shows you how to do it. It's
It
like a
just went
guide.
glitchy. Can't hear you. You're frozen.
Oh no. So I've got a funding support pack with the templates for a business plan, financial forecast, videos on how to, and guides on how to fill it in for your business. It's like step by step. So yeah, you want to send those over. Because they don't give you support in anything like this, which is quite frustrating, because for someone who has ADHD, for example, who's applying because they need help, like how are you supposed to do this if that's what they're giving you to do without the support? So it almost puts you in a chicken and egg situation. You need support to do this kind of stuff, but you've got to do this stuff to apply. And so that's why I'm doing this. And so many other mentors out there are helping as well. So yeah, you'd send them off. And then then it can, like, if you don't want to take 13 weeks, because then it's going to take time for the money to actually come to get your grant. And then after that, when you get your first payment, because you've got to send invoices and basically prove where you're spending your money, it can take up to 8 weeks for that first initial payment to come through. But there's an online portal now, which is so much easier. And it's quicker. It took me around 3 weeks for my first one, and that's only because I did one of my bank details wrong. So they rang me, so they are really good. Otherwise, every other one, it's taken me about a week now for every payment. In fact, I've got some more to upload today. I'm going to add that to my to-do list before I forget. I need to add my invoices from my coach and my I'm just going to add that to my list. Has anyone else got any questions?
Another question.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Dunn's number?
Heard of what? Sorry.
Dunn's number. DUNS. Dunn's number.
No.
Because some organisations, they want you to have your business registration number, obviously when you register self-employed. But if you're not self-employed, you can have what you call a Dunn's number, which they accept. So I've got a Dunn's number and I've given it to the bigger organisations, and they're quite happy with that because it's a form of registration, but it's not the same as a business registration. So I think you register your business with them and they give you a workable number, which you can give to bigger organisations. So I was wondering if a Dunn's number would be acceptable for this application.
No, it wouldn't, just because if you think about it, it's DWP, which obviously work alongside HM Revenue, and it's like the tax company in it basically. So you have to be registered self-employed and have a UTR number. And to be honest, anyone that is in any way should be registered. However, they brought it out a few years ago that if you're not turning over, not profit again, turnover, if you're not bringing in £1,000, you don't have to register and submit a tax return. But I would always advise if you're running a business to be in profit, even though if you're not, it's worth still registering, signing up, because then when you do make profit, at least you're already on there and you can just submit a return. Plus, you can then you can opt in to national insurance payments, which is what I always did, even though I wasn't in profit, because it can be beneficial in future. So, for example, for me, I'd always paid national insurance, got pregnant, so it meant that I could stop working but still get maternity leave whilst I closed my business for that short period, which was massively helpful at the time. And I didn't take full maternity pay. They actually gave me HM Revenue, well, DWP awarded me 9 months, but I didn't take 9 months, 3, just because I wanted to get business up again. So it is worth doing. There's so many benefits to doing it. However, if a lot of people who are on universal credits, I've had clients in the past that have been pressured alongside that because of the minimum income floor. So I would advise doing all you can basically to do it legally, but also making sure that the business does get into profit in the best way possible, because of the minimum income floor. Yeah, because I'd never advise not registering, because it's basically we're in business. Hello, Lisa. Got a
Hello,
question?
darling.
I was just thinking, if
I
you're
do.
in receipt of like disability benefit, can you?
Yeah. I think we lost you there.
Shall I jump in?
Yeah, go on then.
Yep, sure. Go on.
Thank you. Okay, so forgive me because I missed the beginning. So you may have already covered these questions. So first of all, what does let me be specific. What I want to do is set up a treatment room at home, but I would like the money to help me do that because I just don't have the money to do that at the moment. Would it cover something like that, this grant?
I think it's only going to cover it if it's things that are going to help you do the job. So, like, people have got laptops because it helps them do the job and they don't have the money for it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth applying and then asking. Worst case scenario, they say no, but then you can use the money to grow the business to then get profits, then invest in the stuff for a treatment room that you would need.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be worth thinking about it. There's ways to do it. It's just navigating how to make that happen.
So the second question is kind of attached to that. How do they determine how much you get?
It's really random.
Okay.
So when I applied, I shared it with my business coach and mentor, and she was like, "Wow, that's the biggest one I've seen." Because I got quoted £32,850. I was like, "Oh yeah, for 3 years as well." I was like, "Wow."
32. So let me just say that again, because when I said that to somebody the other day, they didn't believe me. So it's £32,000.
Yeah, people think that it's like I'm not telling the truth, which is why I've
Oh, I do.
shared.
It's just they didn't believe me. I
I know,
believe you.
yeah.
It's just the person I told didn't.
I know they don't. They're like, no, it's a scam. No, it's not. It's DWP. And that's why I
I've
shared
seen
my
the evidence.
I've seen the evidence. Yeah, they
It's
don't, but
not.
you don't know what you don't know, do you? So yeah, £32,850. We've said it that much now. I remember the number. But that is over 3 years, so it works out at, what do I get per month? 840 or something like that. Per month to spend on my business, which is amazing because it's cut my costs a lot, basically. Well, it did, but I'm investing in a new approach.
That's the thing. You go up and up and up. That's the trouble. You're going up now, aren't you? You're going up another level. And yeah, that's what happens. You just grow and grow and grow, which is what it's all about, which so well done. So that 800, that £820 or whatever it was you said, do you have to come up with invoices for everything that you've spent?
Yeah, that's what we're going to share next. So yeah, so
Sorry.
like, for example, no, it's okay. So it's like, so like my business coach and mentor invoices me, so like I've just added to my to-do list that I need to submit them.
Yeah.
So I need to put them on the portal. I upload the invoice from my coach and say, this is how many hours she supported me. Submit that, they pay, and then I send it to her. And then I do the same for my VA. But my coach I do monthly, my VA I do weekly. It makes more sense. So you can do that, but it might be that you get the hours and then invoice and then pay afterwards, if that makes sense.
Yes, I do.
So
Yeah, I understand.
it's just so they can see then where the money's going. So because when you do it all online, there is someone who like goes through it all and accepts it and stuff. So if they do have a query, they'll ring you. And they're really good like that, because like when I did my bank details wrong, she rang me up, she's like, I've sent one payment, but this one's still stuck, it's not going through, and I don't know what it is. So she had a look for me, and it turned out I'd put the wrong bank details on. So I was glad she rang, because it had paid into my personal account and not my business. I'm like, why I've done that, I don't know. I must have been open on the wrong app on my phone, because it's the same bank but different account. So yeah, you're kind of proving it as you go along and what you spend the money on. And what's really good as well is you have your number, you know, like mine's 32,850. It tells you how much you've got left as well of that funds and how much you've used, so you can actually see it going down, which is really
Okay.
good.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So do you find, this is a slightly personal question. So, I mean, £820 or whatever it is quite a lot of money. So do you find yourself finding things to spend it on? I mean, I know
No.
do you know what I mean?
No, only because £504 of that, I don't mind being transparent, £504 of that is for my business coach and mentor every month. And then £84 a week is for my VA every month, and that's it spent up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it soon adds up, doesn't it? Yeah. It soon
It
goes.
does, and it just depends, like, it depends on what you use it for. So, like, for example, at the minute, I'm working one-to-one, so it is going to cost me more. But
Yeah.
then after Christmas, the one-to-one support that I'll be getting from my creative copywriter, about 500 and some, well, hers is about 400 and something, and I'll be getting 3 one-to-ones with her per month and access between calls. And for that, I've just used the money that I have to see how much I can use her for, if that makes sense. I've literally said to her, look, I've got this
Exactly.
money,
Yeah.
what can you do? And we've created a package. So
That's kind of what I meant. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you are, in a way, you are kind of seeing how much you've got and thinking, right, how can I
how can I
use
spend
that
it?
best? Yes. How can I,
Yeah.
to help you. I mean, that's the point of it, isn't it? Yeah. That is the
Yeah.
point of it. Yeah.
Well, the way I see it is I've got 3 years to spend it, so it's use it or lose it. And like
Yeah.
like I say, I've forecasted mine. So come January when I start with her, there is about £9 left over. So there'll be £9 every month that I'm not spending. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I might as well whack that to my VA, and like that can build
Exactly.
up to an extra hour's work or something.
Oh, yeah, because it's all benefiting you and your business ultimately, isn't it? And would you say, again, another personal question, but would you say, sorry, you don't have to answer them, by the way.
I don't know.
Um,
Honestly, I don't mind.
Would you say that getting the grant has excelled your business somewhat?
Yes, but this is the thing that I really want people to be aware of is it depends on what you spend it on. So I wrote an email a few weeks ago about growth, because we can invest in our business, but we don't grow. And that is not just because that's many reasons, many things factor into that. One, it's the wrong investment that we don't actually need, and it's not the thing we need to grow. The second thing is we might not action it, of both, which I have done. So I can openly say I've done that. But yes, it has, because I used it with a mentor that I knew I wanted to work with, that I was going to work with regardless.
Yeah.
So it's the key areas that I needed. So like when I shared earlier around focus and money mindset, I've been working with her 3 months now, and I did work with her prior to this that I funded myself. But like I say, in money mindset in particular, my money management, even my health has improved. But it's also a combination of other things that I've done, other coaches I've worked with, other things I've experienced and been part of. It's never, for me, it's never that one thing. But I
Okay.
would also never recommend investing in everything that I've invested in over the last 3 years, because it
Yeah.
has been ridiculous, which is why now I am focused and I just
Yeah.
work with I'd say one person. Obviously next year I'll have my coach that's self-funded and the copywriter, but it's like a team member, isn't it? So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I've definitely done courses that I shouldn't have done, but until you've done them, you kind of don't know, do you? It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
but
it.
yeah, but there's certainly more that I would do. Yeah, so that's great. Thank you very much, Dan.
You're welcome. It's nice to see you, Karen.
Can I
How
ask you
about
another
you,
question?
Karen?
Sorry.
What was that? Sorry, Marie.
Sorry, Marie. I think your Lisa's questions asked, mine was also about a workspace. I would like to convert the garage into my office, and also I like workshop where I can hold in-person workshops rather than doing it all online. But yeah, I think that will have to come from the profits as the business grows. So it is getting that profitable, expanding business, and the money mindset thing is just huge. And I mean, I work with people with mindset and I know it, but it's just actually implementing it yourself is really.
It is, isn't it? Like for me, I had the awareness for years.
Yeah.
And you know what is interesting is like my journey with it is when I started my business coaching business as a whole, that was when I started doing that work. And it changed everything. My debt at the time was £300, paid it off, felt amazing, felt on top of the world. Then the money started coming in, and it's really interesting in how you change your reaction and behavior when it is. So basically, the money was coming in, but I was still putting things on payment plans. I was still buying things on credit, and before long, it built up. Because I was saving every penny I was earning, and I'm glad I did, because this house is beautiful, just to invest in this house. But then it tips the scales over where I was then buying things to the house before I got the house, and it ramped up the debt. So it's definitely a learning curve, but the important thing is getting out of that and understanding how to manage that. And it's something I feel so important, because had I had the support then from people that knew that I was doing that, but still continued to sell to me, really doesn't align with me. We'll have to step back and look at the bigger picture. So if anyone watching this does ever feel pressured to continuously buy into someone and something again and again and again, please just say no. It's okay. Loyalty does not mean you have to spend every penny you earn, because that's the situation I became part of, unfortunately. And yes, the stuff
And it's
that I
easy
did
to do because we're taught to look outside of ourselves, that there's something missing, there's something wrong with us, that person's got the magic, that person out there's got the magic, but there isn't. It is, we've got everything we need here, but it's having that confidence and that self-worth to know, no, that's not what I need. But even with that, it's really still, that's what marketing and sales is like. So really, like, yeah, it's like, how do you sell and market in aligned with that, like, yeah, and ethically? It's a balance, isn't it? But that's a whole other conversation.
It really is, yeah. But like, this is why, like, obviously I can absolutely help anyone that needs the help with strategy, systems, getting organized in the business, but like, there's a step that comes before that, and it's the mindset. And I do help with that as well, which is why I'm doing the qualification I'm doing. But there is so much more to it than just do the strategy, do the steps. Because before we even people don't do it because they're not in the mindset to do it, which is ironic. And I hate admitting that because it puts me out of a job sometimes, but it's the truth. It really is. Knowledge, and having that knowledge can take you far, but it's the skill to actually implement it. It's doing the do that makes the difference, but we need the right mindset behind that.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer, but just to confirm, is the fund non-taxable? Well, yeah, because the funds are going to come in and go straight out. So you could have it paid straight to your support. So if it was like a support worker, you could have it paid straight to them, so it's not even on your account. I don't. Mine does go through my account, just because I like to physically see that my support worker, that they are being paid. Because if there's ever a glitch, I mean, they do email you anyway. So like, I had an email the other day, we've sent you this money, and then it pops up in my bank account. So it is good that you get notified. So I probably get we paid this, you know, support worker, and then it'd go through. So I'd know, but I like to physically see the money and then go pay the invoice myself. But because of that, obviously I'm not getting taxed on it because it's coming in and then I'm just spending it all. So you can do it whichever way works for you.
Sorry to jump in. When you say support worker, do you mean your coach?
Yeah.
Okay. You're just giving them that label so that the DWP kind of understand. Right. Okay.
Yeah, because that's what we've got to do. You've got to call it like certain things because of what they accept. But basically, I'm a business coach, is support worker, and then my VA, we just put, she still does a VA invoice, but we just put virtual support on there, which is what she does, because she does some jobs for me, and she's been amazing as well. Literally bigged her head up this morning. When she sends me a message, you're like, I'm just doing this as well. Friggin' love you, thank you.
And who is that you use? Do you mind me asking?
No, that's fine. I use Sharon Hadley, and I keep recommending her, but I wish I'd stopped because she's already quite busy, and I'm like, oh, not no
That's
more.
what
Like,
happens, you know.
my ultimate goal is to give her more hours in future. I just need to release control of everything.
Yeah,
but I have got a VA that I'm gonna, and I would recommend. This is for a particular job for me. So I use Kartra as my system, and she used to use Kartra, so she knows it like the back of her hand. But it's Carly Murphy, and she does more like branding and stuff, but in
I
tech
would go
stuff.
to Carly. Yeah. I'd go. I'm
Yeah.
friends with Carly, so
Oh,
I'd
you
use
know her,
Carly.
Yeah, so Carly is going to be my VA for next year. Obviously, I'll self-fund that, but anytime I need sales pages mocking up, like I'll write them because I love writing them. I just hate the actual putting it together, whereas she can create some amazing things. So I'll be outsourcing odd tasks to her as well. So yeah, I've got this little team that I'm starting to build. And what you could do as well is if you know where you want to invest in your business, you could create like almost like a mini vision board. This is one of my tasks I need to do. I'm going to do one for like my ideal team. So like the people on it that I want to have as my team. So obviously Sharon will be on there. She does 4 hours a week, I think, for me at the minute. So I might then want to double that this time next year, which I'm self-funding. And then I'll have like Carly on there. Maybe I'll want her doing, I don't know, a sales page every month or something, and that fund on there. And then I might have, so I've got 2 coaches that I hire for my clients, but I might want a tech coach or something. I've not found the perfect one yet, but if anyone knows anyone, let me know. I'd love to have a tech coach come in and help my clients. So that's another thing that will go on there. So it's almost like a vision board of team members.
Yeah.
Because it's good to have something to work towards, yeah.
Exactly. Goals are everything, yeah.
They are, and it's stepping into that CEO mindset when you're navigating where you're putting the money in your business, what's actually going to help you grow and move forward. It's actually taking that leadership role of this is my business, this is where I'm going to take it, because I think this fly's really driving me insane.
He wants to be famous.
Dog's not after it, to be fair.
5 minutes of fame.
Yeah, on my YouTube. I've lost the train of thought now.
Sorry.
It's not, it's the fly.
Oh.
Just buzzing around. Yeah, anyone else got any questions before we finish up?
Quick question. Could you use it, you just mentioned Kartra there. Could you use the funding for a system such as that?
No, because you wouldn't be able to get, so basically when you submit for the support that you get, the other person on the other end needs to accept it. So like my VA, I put it through, she accepts that she supported me, and then it goes through. So obviously with Kartra, because it's a system, nobody's on the other end.
I just wondered if a system would, because that's obviously going to, in theory, streamline and take some of that focus.
Oh, it absolutely does. I'm buzzing this morning because I got an email because I need to upgrade I needed to upgrade my Kartra for the growth and scaling my business, but it's not the cheapest platform. I already paid about 80 quid, I think it is. I pay more now because of how many leads and emails I send out, so it goes up. So think about 8 to 85 a month, depending on the exchange rates. It's American. And then I got an email yesterday saying that I've got a free upgrade to Platinum, which is a new thing they've put out there. So I'm like, oh, do I get more memberships? So I've logged in this morning to see my new features, and it's exactly what I would have upgraded and paid for, which cost me 75 quid. So I'm like, yes. My
That's
husband didn't have
good.
a clue what I were on about, but I'm like buzzing, and he's like, that's good, that's good. I'm like,
Yeah,
it is,
it's
isn't
like,
it?
what?
I can do another membership platform thing now. He's like, yeah.
Brilliant. No, that's cool. And it is just, yeah, it's working out what's going to work and what's, yeah. No, that's good. Thank you. I didn't think it would, but I just wanted to check.
Yeah. If you register self-employed and have the number, do you mean by have the number, do you mean like have that much income in? Do you still have to do a business plan and financial forecast? So no, if you registered self-employed and you have to hit that turnover at 6.5 grand, then no, you don't have to do the plan and forecast. Actually on my head now. If you do it and you haven't hit that, then you will still have to do the business plan and forecast.
Did you say that you offer support to help to fill in a business plan and financial forecast?
Yeah, it's in the funding pack. I think did you buy it? I can't remember.
I did. Yeah, I did. I don't even know where it is now.
I'll send you a link. I'll send you it out, so you can get it. And then, so there's a video on there with how to fill in the business plan. Because I know, like, when you look at the template, it's not enough. Like, you might, what does that actually mean? How do I actually write that? So there's a guide that's got, because people learn in different ways, don't they? There's a guide with like little annotations going throughout the plan. So you actually get 2 plans. You get one that's blank for you to fill in and one that has notes on. And then you get a video that actually talks you through filling it in. And then the financial forecast, pretty similar to be fair. It's a bit more straightforward on that one, self-explanatory, but there's a video that shows you kind of how to fill it in. So that's all on there. So I'll have a check and I'll send you the link so you can access it and do that.
Yeah, I think I need to do that anyway, because after our discussion that we had, I
Yeah.
need to know where I'm going and what I'm doing. So it'd probably be a good idea to do that now anyway.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I've done it. I'm not finished, but I've started it. And it's just so good to have that clarity.
Yeah.
So, and I love planning anyway. I just don't like the numbers side, but I do love planning.
I don't like any of it, but you're pushing me, so I'll do it.
That's good though. And you look at what you've been doing so far. And you're trying, which is amazing. So Marie's one of my clients in my membership. So yeah, it's amazing and well done for doing it as well. Let me know when you've done it and I'll give you a virtual high five.
Yeah, just send the link again and I'll put that on my definite things to do this week.
I will do. Not like you didn't have enough to do, Marie, but okay.
I know, but sometimes you've got to strip things back to know where you should be focusing. So
yeah, it might help before you do the other things actually. It
Yeah.
will, yeah. Amazing. If anyone
thank you.
wants the pack sending out, let me know, pop me a message. Those who are watching on YouTube, the link will be in the description for you to click and buy. And you can find out when the next session like this is. So if you've actually applied and you need support with looking for support workers, VAs, anything like that, or you want to submit your actual claims to get the money, I can talk you through how to do it. If you want a little bit of support in filling in the business plan and the forecast, might actually do that we are in October. In November, I might do that for that funding session. I'll do a bit of research and see where people are at in terms of applying and put something together to support, because I want to do it, for where people are at. So we do these sessions once a month for free. You can book in on my website. I've not put the next date up yet, but I'll get that up. I'll get the November and December date up. December ones will be early because of Christmas. So I'll get those up. So if you want to come and join me over the next few months, we do an hour on it together, with support on this stuff. So yeah, come and join us if you need it. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Danny.
You're welcome. See you soon.
Bye.
Hi, Jan.
Bye.